Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Geektown Behind The Scenes podcast. I'm your host Dave Elliott, and this week we have a very special guest joining us as we celebrate the arrival of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel to ITVX in the UK. Our guest today is somebody that needs no introduction if you grew up watching either of those iconic shows. He made fangs cool, leather jackets cooler, and turned the bleach blonde vampire Spike from a villain of the week into one of the most beloved characters on both shows. Introduced as a swaggering British bad boy in season 2 of Buffy, Spike quickly became a fan favourite thanks to his sharp wit, unexpected vulnerability, and a complex character arc that took him from a ruthless killer to reluctant ally and ultimately a hero with a soul. His journey continued on Angel, where he proved once again just how compelling and unpredictable Spike could be. But James Marsters' work goes far beyond the Buffyverse. He brought a cold, calculating menace to Smallville as the brilliant Brainiac, one of Superman's most formidable enemies, and added chaos, charm and danger to Torchwood as Captain John Hart, the rogue time agent with a serious grudge. In the Marvel Universe, he played Victor Stein in Runaways, giving us a villain with real depth and emotional weight. And if you're into audiobooks, chances are you've heard his phenomenal work as Harry Dresden in the Dresden Files, where his voice acting has earned him a whole new fan base. He's also an accomplished musician, having toured with his band Ghost of the Robot, as well as performing solo, proving that his creativity knows no bounds. Whether it's sci-fi, fantasy, music or stage work, James is a true multi-talented force who continues to surprise and inspire fans around the world. If you enjoy these behind-the-scenes interviews, don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Just search for Geektown Radio in your favourite podcast app. You will also get our weekly Geektown Radio show covering all the latest TV, film and gaming news. And of course, you can visit the website at geektown.co.uk for daily news stories and the latest UK and US TV premiere dates. But for now, sit back and enjoy my chat with the one and only James Marsters. Hi, James. Thanks for taking the time to chat. It's been 22 years since the Buffy finale. Why do you think that show in particular has endured so much?
I think that Buffy has one of the most universal themes that I can think of. Something that was true when it was written, something that was true 1,000 years before it was written and will be true as long as human beings walk the earth. It's true for every single human being. And the theme is it's hard to be a human being. It's difficult, but it's worth it. Keep going. Don't give up. Yeah. And that's just genius. There's a lot of universal themes that are explored, but I can't think of one more universal than that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it touched so much and covered so many things in such an unexpected way throughout just the whole run of it. It did such a beautiful job of what those sort of sci-fi and fantasy shows really need to do is be grounded in something real, even though there are fantastical elements. And I think Buffy does that so beautifully.
Yeah, and the writing was very personal. The writers were actually exposing painful stuff. They were basically being asked to come up with their worst day, the day that they don't like to talk about, the day that keeps them up at night, their dark secret kind of thing, and then slap fangs on top of that experience and tell the whole world. The day that they almost gave up, the day that they hurt somebody, or the day that they got hurt themselves. And so it was a sustained act of vulnerability and courage from some really good writers. And it's an interesting exercise. If you watch Buffy, ask yourself, what did the writer go through to come up with a script? And sometimes it's fascinating, sometimes it's horrifying. You're like, oh my God, oh no, that happened to a human being, oh my God. And so they were bringing it. And I think because they were willing to be that vulnerable and that honest, when you watch the show, it really connects.
Yeah. That's the thing. You mentioned the writing there. Obviously, Joss created it, but the people that went through that sort of almost writing incubator that show ended up becoming, from Jamie Epperson, Drew Goddard, David Fury, Marty Noxon, Stephen Eston Knight, Douglas Petrie, who went on to do Daredevil, Ben Englund, Tim Miner, who went on and did 911. I mean, so many of these huge names that are across the industry now.
Yeah.
That literally got their start on either Buffy or Angel.
And I got them when they were all working together and all young and hungry, man. Oh my God. Just It's like being in the Rolling Stones. Did that actually happen? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's some credible people that have gone on to do some amazing things since then. Coming back to you and Spike, you joined in season 2. What were your first thoughts when you got offered the role, and had you seen the show? Did you know the show prior to that? Or was it just, you're an actor, it's a part, of course, yeah, you're going to take it?
I had come down to Los Angeles because I just become a father. I was a stage actor at a theater company up in Seattle and I did 100 plays before I came down to Los Angeles, but I just became a father and I realized that I wasn't making enough money to be a father. And I had to come down and try to make some actual cash. And so I remember telling my agent, I'm not here to prove myself as an actor. I'm not here for little golden statues. I'm here. I need medical insurance for my baby. I need diaper money. I need college money. So I'm not proud. I will do anything. I will be the new Alf. I'll be the new Hercule. I don't care. And my agent was like, oh, I'm going to love working with you. Damn, let's make some money. And but when they called me and they said, here's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I was like, oh, not that. I saw the movie was so cheesy.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. And they said, James, it's different. It's a TV show. It's actually very good. It's on tonight, actually. Why don't you watch it and call us back? And I watched the first 15 minutes, got on the phone and said, oh my God, get me on that show. This is incredible. I got to go back and finish the show. And so I was very excited about it. But my main thought when I auditioned was, I want this part because we really need medical insurance. I don't know. In the UK, you don't have to deal with this, but as a parent, to have a baby and if something happens, you don't know if you can afford a doctor is a special kind of pain. That's a kind of a worry and stress that I don't wish on anybody. And I wanted to be out from under that.
Yeah. No, I was told was to avoid ever asking what drew you to the role to an actor, because what drew you to the role was money or insurance. Yeah, it's absolutely true. Getting a role like Spike, who probably had one of the most interesting arcs throughout all the characters in Buffy, going from this pure villain to anti-hero to hero as he goes through that story, that must have been a joy to take on.
It was everything. It was everything. It was a joy. It was terrifying and everything in between. The truth is, they never really knew what to do with the character. He was designed to die in 5 to 10 episodes. And having decided not to kill him, it was, what do we do with him now? The truth is, vampires on Buffy were originally meant just to be metaphors for the challenges that you overcome in adolescence.
Yeah.
And so it was important that they become overcome. It's important that they die. And so Spike, if you keep him around, he's an ill fit for that. And someone would come to me at the beginning of every season and say, James, we don't know what to do with your character. We know what the story is for the season. We know what all the arcs for all of our other characters are and how they fit together, but we've got nothing for you. I don't know. And I would say, you're paying me, figure it out. And I think what they did is that they plugged Spike in to facilitate the other characters' journey. But because they were such good writers, all of that stitched together into one journey. And the end result was an arc for Spike that kind of was just swooping and soaring and all this stuff. Normally, a character arc is a very smooth beginning, middle, and end, and it's thought out before. But they were tap dancing as quickly as they could, and they were trying to figure it out. And something really cool happened, I think, because of that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's such an interesting arc and journey you end up taking him on. And then you get to the end of Buffy and he has his big heroic moment, and then suddenly you're back in Angel. Yeah. And it's great, you're back in Angel, but it is okay. Yeah, that's sort of, does it take a little bit off his kind of big sacrifice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that. Yeah, they were so mad but in the States, at least, Buffy and Angel were on different networks at that point.
Yeah.
And so Warner Brothers announced that I was coming on Angel before they had a chance to kill me off on Paramount. And they were very mad about that. Don't tell them we want to break their hearts. It's supposed to be a big heroic sacrifice, and don't tell people about it. But yeah, I got it all. I got to save the world and sacrifice myself to do it, and then I got to live anyway.
Yeah, it's such a great part, that as well. And for you, what was the most challenging thing with Spike? I know you struggled a little bit with the accent at the start, although I thought you did a really good job with that. I know Anthony had opinions on that.
Directors used to ask me in the beginning, they would say, I'm sorry, James, is your character Australian? And I would say, oh, no, I did it again. So it wasn't dialed in the beginning. And it definitely was Tony Head, who played Giles, who tutored me by force because I was embarrassing him back home. And he helped me a lot. And then actually, when I started visiting the UK, the rhythm got in. So it was an ongoing process, and it became better and better as I went along. But the hardest thing was later on. In the beginning, I was just a villain, and I didn't care about anybody, and I didn't have to dredge up any emotion. Like, it was just having fun slaughtering people, which is a weird thing to get your head around. Because if you really want to do it honestly, that is a weird thing to have to try to internalize. But getting over that hump, it was fairly easy. But when they really started to explore Spike, and things got dicey, it got close to the bone later on. And then when he got a soul, it got really painful because he was having to confront everything that he felt guilty about.
Yeah.
And so as an actor, I had to dredge up everything that I feel guilty about and basically beat myself over the head with it, which no therapist is going to tell you is a healthy thing to do.
Yeah.
So by the end of it, I fell into full-blown depression and got into therapy, actually. Marty Noxon found me a really good therapist, which is one of the reasons I'm so happy now.
Yeah.
It all worked out.
Yeah.
But it was pretty dark there for a while, yeah.
Yeah, because some of that stuff was incredibly heavy, particularly between you and Buffy. And it's so well written in that the point where Joyce dies, particularly for Buffy's character, is just a heartbreaking scene for everything she goes through. And then she dies of it where it's a brain aneurysm, isn't it? I think. Yeah. And to do that when there's all this mystical stuff around and she just can't save her is a beautiful bit of writing.
That is my favorite episode because I think that it proved that dramatically speaking, it was strong enough that you didn't actually need vampires. You didn't need stunts, you didn't need special effects, didn't even need music. You could just show a young woman losing a mother unexpectedly. Yeah, it just hit like a hammer.
Yeah, it was absolutely astonishing. And then at the other end of the scale, you've got the musical episode, which is really interesting to me because there are so many other shows that have tried to do it and haven't got the essence of it, which was the entire thing was designed to push the story forward. It was an incredible bit of writing because it had some major plot reveals in that episode as being this amazing musical.
Yeah.
And as somebody with a musical background, how was it doing that? What were your first thoughts when you saw it? And
oh, we were all terrified. We were of the opinion that the show was being flushed down the tubes, that we were jumping the shark. No one had done it. Buffy was the first TV show. There was a cop show before we did it.
Yes.
It tried to be a full-on musical every episode, and I think it collapsed after 3 episodes. It just was like embarrassing and horrible. And so that was the only previous thing. And we were like, oh, we're going to do that? Great. Now we're dead. Tony Head and I were comfortable singing publicly. I was in a band and he had a lot of experience. He was cutting albums and we were fine with that. The rest of the cast had a really good argument that you want me to do something that I'm not on a professional level, and you're going to have me do that in front of millions of people. You're going to ruin my career. Don't do that to me. I think Sarah asked, can I juggle live chainsaws other than sing? That's going to be safer for my career. Frankly, I just thought the music sucked.
Really?
I'm sorry. I'm a punk rocker, and Joss gave us a cassette of him singing the songs,
right,
and plunking it out on the piano. And Joss, as a singer, is a good writer. I'm sorry. It sounded cheesy. Him doing it, it just sounded cheesy. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? This is going to be terrible. I was wrong. The songs are amazing. But I think that one of the reasons that's another of my favorite episodes is that the theme of Buffy is life is hard. It's scary. It's hard to be a human being, but it's worth it. Don't give up. Keep going.
Yeah.
And we whined about it in the beginning, but when we really realized the thing was going to happen, man, we decided to go down swinging. We decided to do our best in the face of certain doom. We decided not to give up and really bring it. And I think that we spoiled Hollywood actors. We lived up to that theme, at least for that episode. And I couldn't have been more proud of it.
Yeah. You, of course, came back to Spike a few years ago for Slayers, which was the Audible drama written by Amber Benson. And he brought a whole bunch of you back together. There was James Charles Leary, Charisma, Emma, Amber, Julia, Anthony, Danny Strong. It was like Danny Strong's career's gone in an incredible direction since he popped up on the show. But yeah, how was the experience jumping back into Spike at that point?
Seamless. It just like putting on it easy. The writing was really good. I had already been doing Spike on Cameo. I decided people wanted Spike anyway. Cameo is where you do little videos for people.
Yeah.
And for their birthday or anniversary or Mother's Day or whatever the thing is. And a lot of people were asking, can you do it as Spike? And in the beginning, I was like, I don't know about that. And I realized, wait a minute, I love playing Spike. Sure, why not? And
That's
so
funny.
I'd been doing it. And so I was already back in it anyway. And when the writing is good, it carries you to shore like a warm wave. It does so much of the work. When the writing is not good, it's like humping a corpse over a mountain. It's just a lot of work. But the writing was good on Slayers, and we just got to have fun with it. And it was just so wonderful to watch the other cast step into their roles because they're very good about bringing some of the characters to a very new place. Like, it was so wonderful to watch Juliet Landau be the big bad, be the driving evil force, and have her really have minions and take over and call the shots. Juliet is such a fabulous actor, and she just owned that. It was wonderful to see Charisma become a Slayer. Like, the last character I would have expected to be the Slayer, was Cordelia.
Yeah.
But then seeing it happen, I'm like, of course, Cordelia doesn't take any shit. Of course she would be a great Slayer.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was so great to see James Leary get a lot more to do. He's so good as that character. And on and on and on. It was just going to Disneyland. It was fun.
And of course, there is a reboot that Sarah is involved with. The people behind that are ridiculous. That's Chloe Zhao, who did Eternals. You've got the Zuckermans, who were the showrunners on Poker Face, which is an amazing TV series.
Couldn't be more excited. My God.
I understand if you can't say anything. Have you been approached at all about that? I don't know what stage they're at with developing that. But
yeah, I got big news. I can't talk about it.
I thought that might be the reaction, but no, because Spike did survive in that universe. Technically, in the TV universe, the last time we saw him, he was on the way to hell, but there have been comic book things, and we don't know where they're going to pick up and what they're going to use and what they're not, but in the Slayers thing, he's out of hell. You are around, I have to say, you've not exactly aged, so...
Yeah, Spike's an ongoing character, and what I love about Slayers is that he has a soul, and he's not evil anymore, but he's still a punk rocker, man. He's still going to tell you exactly what he thinks, no matter what you feel about it. This is still a really good, edgy character, yeah.
Yeah, no, it would be lovely to have you back on screen. We don't know who else is potentially returning, assuming it gets picked up, but Hulu seems quite keen on it. Yeah.
With the people involved, I'm very excited to see. And I think that the world needs Buffy Summers maybe now more than ever.
Yeah.
You can beep this out if you need to, but there's a punk rock band out of Russia called Pussy Riot.
Yes.
And they were speaking out against the authoritarian takeover in Russia and went to prison for it.
I remember, yeah.
And didn't back down. And those guys came over to the U.S. recently. They were in Manhattan, and they were giving their message. The thing that they came over to say was, don't give up. Wake up and don't give up.
Yes.
And that's the theme for Buffy. And so if that's the most important thing that Pussy Riot wants to talk about, I think that, yes, Buffy, come back and start talking. We need to hear that.
Yeah. I was so excited with the idea of that. I think it's going to be amazing. So I hope you are involved in it. Last question, and I ask this to everybody. So if you had the opportunity to, or would have liked to work on a TV series, so it can be something historical from the past, something that's on now, or some sort of future genre, what show would it be?
Star Trek. Star Trek. I'm an original Star Trek fan. I used to go to conventions dressed as Spock back in the 70s. And I have gotten on all other IPs, man. I've gotten on Star Wars, Buffy. I've been on Doctor Who universe. I have... what else? I've been on Dragon Ball.
Battlestar.
I don't know, on and on. I've been on all this stuff that I love, except the thing that I wanted to be on when I was forever, which is Star Trek. They actually wrote the role of Picard's clone in the final Star Trek movie with Patrick Stewart.
I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's gone out of my head. But yes, I know the one you mean.
So yeah, they wrote that for me. And during a screen test, I blew it because I was fanboying because I was in the same room as Picard. I was just like out of body experience, and I gave a horrible audition, and they moved on. They cast this guy, Tom Hardy. Who's that?
Yeah, what's he done recently?
Yeah, whatever has he gone on to? They cast him instead. So I missed my chance to be in Star Trek. So yeah, I'm not dead, so maybe Star Trek will be fun.
There's enough Star Trek shows kicking around at the moment. Strange New Worlds is brilliant, and it's so close to the original. Maybe you could worm your way in there as something. That's
Singing in the background.
yeah, that would be awesome. Cool. I will let you get back to your day. Thank you for spending some time chatting with me. It's been lovely. I hope to see you on screen or at a convention or whatever.
Oh yeah, I ain't going anywhere, man.
All right, cool. Thank you so much.
You got it, my friend.